What's up? What's up? Hello orchid fans, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Gintare here at What's Up Orchids, and I've got a very short video for you, but it's gonna be a start of the project. So one of my friends has got a few Phalaeonopsis orchids, and she sent me photos of how they're doing, and one of them was kind of looking pretty sad. So let me try and get it out of his bag without actually damaging that poor little thing in the bag. And yeah, I basically said to her, you know, bring it to me and I'll see what I can do, and you know, let's maybe try and recover it. So what I said to her is that I will try and kind of get it to grow if I can, and yeah, we'll see how it goes, because it's you know, it's not looking great just now. So when she brought it in, it actually had a lot of media in this pot, but for me to be able to actually bring it home, I just took all the media out because it was so nasty and just kind of finished off. And it does actually have a little bit of hope. So she was saying, oh, you know, I saw something green growing, which is this little root here. So this root is actually functioning. And then this root, it does turn green at the base here when it gets wet. And you know, we will just leave all of this. And then also you can see we've got a green leaf here, and I looked at the, it's not very good lighting here right now, but when I looked at the very kind of center of that apex, I could see a new leaf starting. So we know there is no crown rot here, so that's good. You know, I think that it is possible to save it. What I will try and do super carefully is maybe get rid of these leaves. I mean, they're kind of actually falling off on their own. And yeah, I thought I'm gonna try like a bag method. So I asked her if she wants this orchid back straight away, in which case I would have, you know, maybe just repotted it and see what happens. But she's happy for me to keep it until it kind of recovers. So I don't know if I can recover it. You know, if I can't, you know, so be it. I mean, there's not really much left of it, but it could be worse. So I peeled off some of the sheaths from the bottom, and I can actually see some nubbins of the roots, but they are all now, they've died off and they're all black. So it looks like, you know, this orchid has tried, but because the media was so filthy, the roots probably just touched it and they just died off straight away. So I want to remove all these dried off, you know, sheaths from the base, so that if this orchid is trying to push the roots out, it's, you know, not got all these tough sheaths to get through, and it can actually grow those roots easily. And also they're all dried off, so obviously not gonna really provide us with any kind of protection or anything, but if we're gonna keep this orchid in high humidity environment, these sheaves are gonna get wet, and that can actually encourage rot. And because this orchid is not very healthy right now and not strong, rot can set into it quite easily. So I wanna give it every possible chance to survive. So I'm trying to be super careful around this root. I really don't want to break it. That's kind of, you know, it's already kind of having a head start. I can see that the tip of this root is kind of closing off already, but hopefully once we get it into a higher environment, higher humidity environment, it will it might actually kind of continue growing. That's my kind of hope. If it doesn't, then it might actually push out a few extra roots, and we might be able to save it. So I don't really want to kind of be cutting a lot off. Even these strings, if they're coming off, they can come off, but if not, I'll let them be. But yeah, if I can get rid of some of these sheaves, that would be good. I think I'm even gonna leave these spikes on. This one is totally dried off, so nothing is gonna happen with this spike, but this spike, it does seem to still have a bit of reserve, so this might be absorbed by the orchid. You can see it's already absorbed up to here, so that's fine. You know, we can keep absorbing it if it wants. You know, I want to keep every kind of energy resource on this orchid that I've got. But yeah, the plan is I will put some moss in this pot. I'll wash that pot first, and then I will just kind of try and maybe position it so that this root, it doesn't touch anything. And yeah, even like that, looks like this leaf is kind of gonna hold it upward, so that's good. And then we can put a bag over it. So yeah, let me just wash this, and I'll get some moss and we can keep going with this. Alrighty, I'm back. So I've got my pot washed and I brought some moss here. So I don't have a lot of moss left because I kind of stopped using it. But I think for this it will work pretty well. So I'll just place some at the bottom of the pot so that it can keep the humidity up in this pot, and I'll get it watered so that it's all kind of soaked through. And I want to kind of push that moss a little bit down so that these holes at the bottom, you know, I can have some moss like touching the very bottom of the pot. And then what I will try and do is, rather than always opening up the bag, you know, to try and kind of get the moss wet, or moving the plant out of the pot to water the moss, what I'll try and do is I will actually just get some water on this tray, and this pot will just sit on top, and you know, the water will be sucked up by the moss, so that I can actually just leave the plant alone and not constantly move it, because if it will try grow some roots, you know, I really don't want to be like constantly messing with it. So I think that should be enough moss, probably just at the very bottom. So I'll get my sprayer and let's get this soaked through. So that's gonna be nice and wet, and as the time goes, because it's so dry, it will get kind of even more wet, and it will distribute the water equally, and that will keep the humidity up. So I will put this one in here, just kind of rest it on here. I will try and put it in a way so it doesn't just wobble all over the place, but this seems to be quite good. So I could probably actually put more moss in there, just so that I can actually have more humidity in the pot. So let me just add a little bit more. I don't really have a lot of big strands here. It's just, you know, whatever was left at the bottom of the bag, so there isn't much, but we'll work with what we've got. That should be enough. It's a tiny plant. And the reason I also want to keep the spike up here and just kind of leave it on is, sorry, I'll get you up a bit so you can see the spike. So when I put the bag on, it can actually rest on the top of the spike and it doesn't actually touch the plant. And I think that might kind of work pretty well. as well. So let's try and put this bag on top. Okay, and so what I'll do, I'll actually just find a rubber band and just put it on around the pot so that it can hold this bag and kind of keep it all closed off. I will try and blow some air into it because you know, plants actually use carbon dioxide that we exhale to you know, for growth, basically, you know, to kind of create to work on their food. So carbon dioxide is actually useful for plants. So if I blow the bag, I will fill it with carbon dioxide, which, you know, will hopefully just give it a bit of an extra kick. You know, anything helps right now. So let me just try find a rubber band and we can get this one sorted. All right, let's try and put this on. Alright, so let me try and blow some air into it if I can. Here we are. So I don't think it's actually gonna stay blown up like this because obviously we've got holes at the bottom, so the air is, you know, gonna come out. But I think that's still good, you know, because at the moment the bag is not touching the plant, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So basically the plan is that I can now just top up the water in this tray, and I don't actually need to, you know, keep taking the bag off, putting it back on, removing the plant and all that. So I should be able to keep it fairly stable in the pot. I will still remove the bag, you know, from time to time because I want to let some fresh air in here, which is important. So but yeah, basically this is going to be the start of the project, and then we can follow how this orchid is doing, and I really hope we can actually recover it. I would be delighted if we can, but if not, you know, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I would be really kind of interested to see how this one is progressing and how it's doing. And yeah, I hope you guys are gonna enjoy this series as well. So I'm gonna create a playlist on under my you know, within my channel. So under the playlists, you will find you know, how to kind of recover a Phalaeonopsis orchid series there. And this is going to be the first video of it, and then we will keep following it and see what happens. And I really hope that, you know, in some time we will be able to actually pot it up as a healthy plant and, you know, wait for the blooms. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope this will be useful eventually, you know, once we kind of have some results. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.